Deputy President Honorable Rigathi Gachagwa has constantly reminded the nation that every department under the previous regime was operating under state capture. In fact, he alludes failure to some of these departments like KQ to the state capture. But ladies and gentlemen, today we are witnessing another capture, one that is more vicious than the state capture, because we have surrendered our nation virtually into the cruel hands of criminal gangs. In Nairobi today, residents are walking and operating in fear because the gang has taken over and they are terrorizing the residents in broad daylight under the full glare of the police. In the villages, the bandits and cattle rustlers have taken hostage the villages. If you look at Baringo today, the cattle rustlers have ensured that schools are closed. Pupils can no longer go to school because the situation continues to deteriorate. We have people running away from their homes, internally displaced people in their own ancestral land. Ladies and gentlemen, what exactly is happening? Is someone playing with the delicate matter of security? In this video, I want us to look at the politics around our security. Please welcome to the channel. If you're watching for the first time, kindly subscribe and click the notification bell. Don't forget to like our videos, because the secret of liking a video is that the more likes a video gets, then the more ratings go high. YouTube will now recommend it for more viewers. So kindly like our video, ladies and gentlemen. Today the Deputy President was in a church service. He accompanied the President in Baringo in a Thanksgiving service, as they usually do every Sunday. I have a neighbor who is closing his door, so you bear with me for that background noise. And in attendance was the Triati MP, Mr. William Kamket. And the MP requested the government, and he was addressing the President, to remove some police officers who had been deployed in Baringo to battle cattle rustling, because there's a lot of fighting going on there. So the MP thought that it is high time the President considered removing them. This request did not go down well with our Deputy President, who told off Mr. Kamket that they are not about to take away those policemen. And in fact, he said that if Mr. Kamket wants the police to be removed in that place, then they should sit down as leaders and tackle this problem. They should put their house in order, ladies and gentlemen. And I looked at those statements and I was wondering, ladies and gentlemen, what exactly is happening? We need to start a conversation around the insecurity in the country, because while talking about the same thing, Mr. Natembeya, who is now the governor of Trans Nzoia, delved into this matter, and he was saying that we need to look carefully. He was talking about something to do with IPOA. So, ladies and gentlemen, we already have identified the problem, and the problem is insecurity. What is the cause, and what exactly must we do? And I want us to try and understand. Look at what Mr. Natembeya was saying. The first issue that we need to integrate very closely is the IPOA. The IPOA is the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. This is a body that works very closely with the Internal Affairs Unit of the police. If something happens, for example, a police officer is suspected to have shot an innocent Kenyan, then the IPOA will come in and they will look at the report of the Internal Affairs Unit, because the police have got their own internal mechanism of trying to investigate whatever crimes that are going on within them. But experts say that sometimes they tend to protect one of their own, and this is the reason why the IPOA was created. So if the IPOA is not very satisfied with the outcome of the Internal Affairs Unit, then they take over, they surpass what they're saying, and they do their own investigation. and they're doing a good job. But the catch, ladies and gentlemen, is this. If you listen to Mr. Natembeya, he is saying that one bandit can take ransom to like a whole, maybe over 20 police or 1,000 of them. But if a police officer shoots one of them, then the IPOA will be at their doorsteps asking, knocking to find out why the police has decided to kill an innocent person. And they will be asking, were there not any other mechanism they should have used? And this has resulted into a go slow, ladies and gentlemen, because the police knows very well that they will not be questioned for not shooting. So they would rather just sit there, watch as the bandits and the criminal gangs terrorize Kenyans, because if they shoot, they will be answering why they shot at someone, because the laws, I don't know, say that they should arrest, take to correctional facilities like, you know, the court and now our jails, because they say that our jails are correctional facilities. Every man and woman has got their job to protect. So if you realize that by shooting you will lose your job, you'd rather sit there very comfortably and watch, then you just write a statement that the criminal gang was here and we came in late, they had gone, they had fled. And this is exactly what is happening. And I know we can also delve into the special service unit that was disbanded, because it also formed part of the conversation when Natembeya was answering that the KTN journalist. It is something that I've delved in before. But in a nutshell, Mr. Natembeya is saying that we are trying to humiliate our police officers in front of the very Kenyans who they are supposed to protect. And in fact, he was answering, he was advising the president that matters security should be handled very secretly. Even if he decided to disband the unit, he should have not gone and shouted about it, because by shouting, he's already telling the criminal gangs that, you know, the department is not there, so you can run riot into the innocent Kenyans, because no one will deal with you. So Mr. Natembeya's take is, Mr. William Ruto should now reconsider his stand and make sure that security matters are dealt with very carefully, very silently. We have the National Security Advisory Board, I think, something, and it's been shared by the president himself. I think they should advise him on what to do moving forward. But back to IPOA. Don't you think we need a conversation around at what point do we allow our police officers to shoot? We should not let our officers operate in fear, because the moment they are operating in fear, it is you and I who are in danger. You've seen some videos going viral. I know some of them are exaggerated. Some of them are not even happenings in Kenya. I saw a video from South Africa. But Kenyans are only trying to portray, to paint a picture of how dire the situation is. So the IPOA should also understand that there are circumstances when the police officer must shoot. If we have one person who can terrorize a whole village, arson, burn all the houses, kill mothers, ensure that children are not going to school, what is wrong if this one person is shot dead? It is a very delicate conversation, but you will tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what you think. The other thing that is happening in Baringo, because today I was looking at exactly Baringo, where we have the Marakwets and the Pokots, the banditry and cattle rustling that is going on in that place, it forms part of the security. Because in Nairobi people fear, but in the villages, life is never better. There are leaders who are playing politics and doing business. Because I understand, I was reading one of the security officers from a company called Expertise Criminology Limited. I thought I pronounced it well. And he was saying that there are two issues here. One is the cultural practice where vijana lazima waende waibe ng'ombe pale. It is an initiative. It is like you are now a passage of right. For you to become a full-grown man, you have to go and maybe rob some cows and come back with them for you to become a man. But the expert are saying that it goes deeper than the cultural practice. Some people are taking advantage. That we have a group of politicians and wealthy leaders there who are sponsoring these gangs to go and terrorize another village and bring the cattle. Then they will be selling them It is a lucrative business, ladies and gentlemen. But my question is just one, and I was just wondering, where do they get the available market? Because I have always read that when those criminal gang, the bandits and the cattle rustlers, take away and kill people, take away the cows, they are in numbers of 20,000, 100,000. You hear that we had maybe 5,000 goats. They are they are in large numbers. Where do they get the market? Because it also means that it is a network of cartels. Because if someone steals cows in Baringo and then the meat or the cattle will get into Nairobi market, then it means that even the roadblocks are part of this cartel. And we should look very deeply into it so that we do away with the officer, because it's deeper than just what we're looking at. We should now empower even the borders, the stop gaps, so that they do not pass any other roadblock if we have to annihilate this situation, ladies and gentlemen. We should also try and investigate. If we do away with the market, if you make it very difficult for the cattle to reach the market, if we make stringent rules, then I'm telling you we are going to reduce this, because someone who is stealing with the aim of coming to Nairobi so that he can sell them to Izima Vichinjio in Nairobi, if you make it difficult, then this will stop, ladies and gentlemen. Number two, the leaders who engage, the leaders who sponsor these criminals should be dealt with. There has been a talk in town that Kenya has got a very good constitution. What we lack is implementation. We create a lot of some committees to investigate what is happening, yet we do understand. I was listening to Mr. Cheptumo saying that the government knows who the criminals are. In fact, the current county commissioner, Mr. Malim, was saying that they know the gangs by their names. But if you know them, and this is the question, what are you waiting for? Are we waiting for more Kenyans to die before you implement, before you do your work? Because one life lost is a life too many. By admitting that you have the names, you know the criminals, and you are not acting, could we be excused if we say that you are part of the system? Because if you say that you know the criminals and they are terrorizing your people, please act on them, or else it will be very speculative that you are part of them. So let us jail the leaders who are sponsoring this system. And the day we jail one, ladies and gentlemen, without looking at their stature in the community, this is the day we will have made one step towards fighting cattle rustling. The last thing that must be looked at is our porous borders, ladies and gentlemen. Because I have seen over years, whenever there is a regime change, the Minister of Internal Security will be talking tough. I saw Mr. Olelenko, I saw Mr. Matiang'i saying that we have to start a process of disarmament, where we have to take it. Sometimes they give ultimatum that if you don't surrender your gun, that we will deal with you. It falls into deaf ears, ladies and gentlemen. Why? If you take away the guns from the villagers, yet the borders are still porous, then we will be getting them from Uganda. We are doing nothing. You take them from the left pocket, yet in the right pocket they are still getting in. So we must ensure that our borders are sealed, so that when we decide to now disarm all the bandits and every other Kenyan who is in possession of illegal guns and weapons, then we shall have blocked any more weapons, illegal weapons, coming into the country. Corruption, I also feel, is playing a part. Because for you to get guns from the other countries, I think even the price of getting these guns are very cheap. There was a time I saw a clip from Citizen, how even officers, lease these guns at a very cheap price, so that you give these guns to maybe some robber in the street, they will go kill some fellow Kenyans and take some, and then they will be dividing this loot among themselves. Such things must stop, so that we cannot pretend to be fighting criminals, fighting robbery, and fighting all this banditry if we still have some criminals within the police system who lease out guns, criminals within the police system who are at the border, but they will still allow the guns to infiltrate. We must seal our borders, ladies and gentlemen, so that we have little or no more guns coming into the country. The last thing, ladies and gentlemen, this goes beyond just fighting it. We must have political goodwill. Political goodwill from the local leaders. I believe today, if you call all the MPs and the women reps in that county and tell them to sit down and have an amicable solution, I can assure you, just one day, because the leaders will go and talk to their people. The problem here is the Pokots and the Marakwets. Their leaders take advantage, especially when we are approaching our elections. The leaders take advantage and they use this to ascend to power. The political goodwill must be there. And if there is no political goodwill, then let us, like I said earlier, prosecute these leaders as an example to others who are coming, who want to perpetuate this kind of situation. And then the president and the deputy, they must sit down and handle their security system in a systematic manner, in a way that every Kenyan will feel safe, ladies and gentlemen. And that is my take concerning the situation in the country. I don't know what you think. Please share with me in your comment section. And especially if I could get someone from Pokot, Marakwet, Baringo, please share with me your sentiments of what is happening.